your career, you got to match up against other Nike hoopers. Do you have a favorite matchup?
You're gonna get me in trouble. Honestly, I'll just say DT because she's...
Have you ever witnessed a moment so audacious it reshaped the way we think about sports deals? Could a rookie star turn her own triumph into a gift that lifts her entire team?
Such an icon in our sport and has been in the game for so long. You know, getting to share the court with her was pretty fun, and you just see her competitive spirit. Even though you're not on her team, you can just feel it as a competitor.
In a moment that stunned the WNBA and rocked the sports world, Caitlin Clark just dropped a bombshell. Not with a three-domer from a logo, but with a $25 million gesture that no one saw coming. Sophie Cunningham was the one left speechless this time, as Caitlin surprised her with a once-in-a-lifetime announcement that tied both their futures to the most iconic sports brand in the world, Nike. This isn't just about a deal, this is about loyalty, friendship, and the massive cultural shift Caitlin Clark is leading. One play, $1, one teammate at a time. Buckle up, because this is the jaw-dropping story of how Caitlin Clark turned a headline-grabbing sneaker deal into a shocking surprise for her teammate and what it means for the future of women's basketball.
I think I've hated losing even before I can remember. When I was growing up, all I did was cry when I lost. But it upset my parents a lot. My dad was
Caitlin Clark's rookie season was already the stuff of legend, but this move shot her straight into the stratosphere. She didn't just ink a lucrative contract, she altered the social contract that binds athletes and brands. A $25 million multi-year pact with Nike is blinding on its own, but Caitlin saw an opportunity to fuse business savvy with heartfelt gratitude. In front of stunned executives and cameras rolling, she redirected a piece of that windfall to a teammate whose impact often played out unseen. The WNBA hierarchy has never been more alive than that day in Indianapolis.
My first coach, so he had to deal with me crying, so the more I won, the less crying there was. From a very young age, because no matter what I did, whether I was playing a...
Walking into the closed-door Nike showcase, Sophie Cunningham thought she was stepping into another promotional event. She had seen plenty of those. Camera flashes, choreographed sound bites, staged cheers. What she found instead was a heartfelt scene set by Caitlin, designed to shift the spotlight as the lights dimmed for a tribute film chronicling Caitlin's rise from Hawkeye phenom to Fever Guard. Sophie stood next to her, unaware that every frame of gratitude was about to extend beyond the screen.
Sport or playing a board game or was at school, I wanted to win. I feel like that was always my mindset, and that hasn't really changed. Fortnite.
After the short film, Nike Chiefs presented Caitlin with a custom gold-stitched jersey, an iconic garment that signaled her arrival as a cultural icon. But instead of donning it, she paused, turned, and locked eyes with Sophie. She spoke plainly about trust and sacrifice, emphasizing that no matter how high she soared, she owed her success to teammates who cleared the path. Then came the reveal, a pair of fever-colored special edition sneakers bearing Sophie's initials, and a no backing down little motto embroidered on the heel. Alongside the shoes lay a subsidiary deal under Caitlin's umbrella, granting Sophie her first official Nike partnership.
I used to play video games a good amount in college with my friends, especially over Christmas break when you just have basketball and you're the only people on campus. We'd go to practice, we'd go eat, and then we'd just game all.
That gesture sent ripples through the Fever locker room. Veterans who had seen countless ceremonies confessed they'd never witnessed such selflessness. Rookies found a new blueprint for what superstar status could look like. Comments streamed in. Alyssa Thomas marveled at the magnanimity, while coaches noted that team morale hit record highs. The deal wasn't just a contract, it was a statement of values. It reminded everyone that success in basketball, as in life, hinges on those who stand in the trenches with you.
If you are hoping to get your hands on the Caitlin Clark version of Nike's Kobe Bryant sneaker, you're out of luck. They are out of stock. The WNBA star teamed up with...
Critics wondered why Caitlin would share her glory. Some brands insist on exclusivity. They want stars who hoard attention. But Caitlin's approach flipped the script. She wielded her negotiating leverage not as a shield, but as a spotlight. By insisting that Sophie be part of her Nike terms, she sent a message about the currency of loyalty. In an era when headlines chase individual feats, she insisted that collective effort deserved equal celebration. Sophie Cunningham's reaction was raw and unfiltered. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she traced the embroidery on her new kicks. She hadn't expected this. Sure, She'd defended Caitlyn on the court, taken charges, drawn fouls, and offered tough love pep talks after grueling losses. But a $25 million spotlight? That was beyond her wildest dreams. At that moment, sports commentary shifted. It wasn't just about points and rebounds. It was about the bonds that forged championship culture.
Nike for a player edition of the Kobe 5 Pro Tro, decked out in Indiana Fever colors. You see them on your screen. They dropped at 10.
For Nike, the stunt was pure gold. They had chased Caitlyn through fierce competition with rivals, but what sealed the deal was her vision for partnership. They didn't just sign an athlete, they backed a cultural architect. Joint ad campaigns were already in planning. Reels featuring Clark and Cunningham in tandem, launching limited edition drops that told a story of grit and gratitude. The marketing buzz alone was poised to eclipse any past WNBA sneaker release. Beyond the flashy commercials, the real impact resonated in gyms and playgrounds. Young girls saw a new model of success, one where gifts weren't hoarded but shared. They learned that true leadership elevates others. Coaches reported upticks in team cohesion across the league, inspired by Caitlyn's playbook of generosity. Sports analysts began revising narratives. Caitlyn wasn't just a scoring phenom, she was a visionary reshaping the business of basketball.
10 a.m. Monday, and they sold out before 11 a.m. In fact, in just minutes. The $190 kicks are already showing up on the secondary market.
And the community felt it too. Caitlyn pledged to launch mentorship clinics in Indiana, with Sophie co-hosting sessions on teamwork and resilience. Together they planned scholarships for girls in underfunded programs, ensuring the deal's dividends reached beyond endorsements. The ripple effects promised to last far longer than a viral video. They aimed to strengthen the grassroots of the sport itself. This isn't a tale of one player outshining another. It's a saga of mutual uplift. Proof that when stars align in solidarity, the sky is no limit. Caitlyn Clark's signature Nike line will undoubtedly shatter sales records. Yet her defining legacy may well be the day she used her contract to elevate a fellow warrior. In doing so, she rewrote the narrative of what endorsement deals can achieve.
Caitlyn Clark's new Kobe Bryant 5 sneaker sells out online in minutes. There hasn't been this much calamity over a white woman's shoe since Cinderella and the glass slipper.
From record-breaking college crowds to headline-grabbing rookie feats, Caitlyn Clark has never shied from making history. But her hottest take yet was a two-part question. What does it mean to win, and who wins with you? The answers she delivered echo far beyond the hardwood, resonating in locker rooms, boardrooms, and backyard courts. Sophie Cunningham will lace up those custom PEs with pride, but every step she takes is powered by a partnership rooted in respect. WNBA spotlights will continue to follow Caitlyn's deep threes and clutch passes, but the lasting highlight may be a photo of two teammates embracing over a pair of sneakers. That image captures more than celebration, it captures a movement. Loyalty, generosity, and shared triumph are the new currency. And that's a playbook worth emulating. Caitlyn Clark's bold gesture rewrote the rulebook on endorsements, but the ripples didn't stop with Sophie Cunningham's surprise. As news outlets replayed the moment in slow motion, fans across the country debated what it meant for the future of the WNBA. Was this a one-off stunt or the start of a new era where teammates share more than just the court? Every social media thread brimmed with excitement and speculation, a sign that Caitlyn's move had struck a chord far beyond Indiana. Behind closed doors at Nike headquarters, executives sat in awe of Caitlyn's proposal. They had expected to negotiate salary, shoe details, and maybe a few marketing initiatives. Instead, they found themselves haggling over how to structure dual brand campaigns. The company's strategy rooms, once focused on product specs and ad buys, shifted rapidly to brainstorming loyalty-themed activations. Internal memos praised Caitlyn for forcing Nike to think bigger, to embrace values over visibility. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham balanced her own whirlwind of meetings and photo shoots. Suddenly thrust into the spotlight, she faced cameras and questions she had worked years to avoid. Yet she handled it with the same grit that made Caitlin choose her. In interviews, Sophie spoke about hard work, trust, and the pride of wearing the swoosh. But she also kept pointing back to Caitlin's selfless spark, reminding everyone that her own deal existed only because of that spark. On the court, something unexpected happened. The Fever, who had hovered in the middle of the standings, began to gel like never before. Practices buzzed with a new energy. Players who once guarded their minutes now cheered every made basket. Coaches noticed free throw percentages climbing, turnovers dropping, and assists rising. Caitlin's off-court move lit a fire under the entire roster. The team transformed from a group of individuals into a true unit. Opponents sensed the shift too. Teams that had plotted to limit Caitlin's scoring suddenly found themselves facing a united front. When defenses collapsed on Clark, a cutting Cunningham or another fearless teammate sprung open for high percentage shots. WNBA analysts began drawing lines from Caitlin's contract surprise to the Fever's on-court chemistry. They argued that genuine camaraderie can be as lethal as any play drawn up on the whiteboard. In communities across Indiana, the story took on an almost mythic quality. Young players in youth leagues imitated Sophie's sneakers, scrawling "no backing down" on practice balls. High school teammates held secret ceremonies, passing pairs of old shoes in solidarity. Local gyms reported spikes in girls' participation as the narrative spread like wildfire. Coaches told reporters that discussions of loyalty and teamwork now trumped talk of individual stats.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I mean, if you would have told me I would lead the league in assists coming in here in my rookie season, I probably would have told you you're lying. But I take a lot of pride in that. I want to set my team.
Caitlin and Sophie's joint commercials further amplified the message. Viewers saw them sprinting down empty courts, trading passes in slow motion, helmets raised in silent celebration. They delivered voiceovers urging fans to lift someone up and make success a shared journey. The ads played during national broadcasts, halftime shows, and even billboards in Times Square. It was a campaign that felt personal, as if each viewer had witnessed the initial surprise firsthand. Beyond marketing, Caitlin's move triggered changes in how agents approached deals. Agents for other rising stars began requesting clauses that extended opportunities to teammates. Appearance fees, custom gear drops, even co-branded events. Brands scrambled to revise contract templates to accommodate multiplayer partnerships. What began as a personal request to Nike had grown into an industry-wide shift.
It's up first and foremost because I think that's going to help you have the most successful team. Whether that's in the pick and roll, that's probably where I'm most successful with that, and I'm lucky enough to play with AB and Liz. And
union representatives in the WNBA took note as well. Conversations about collective bargaining intensified. If one star could secure deals for teammates, why shouldn't the entire league benefit from shared endorsement revenue? Proposals emerged for revenue-sharing models tied to individual sponsorships. Suddenly, contract talks weren't just about salaries, they were about securing benefits for every player on the roster. At alumni events and charity games, former legends lauded Caitlin's vision. They recollected eras when stars kept endorsements all to themselves and locker rooms simmered with jealousy. Now the narrative split. Some veterans admitted they would have never extended such an olive branch, while others confessed regret that they hadn't. Caitlin's move made them reassess their own careers and the bonds they formed along the way.
who are really good in that action. And then I think our shooting has gotten a lot better, especially to start these two games of the second half. So, I'm always looking for my teammates in transition. That's kind of where I...
Meanwhile, behind the scenes, conversations turned strategic. Nike's product teams began designing limited releases for pairs of players rather than singular signature lines. Graphics showed dual names on shoe boxes. Stores prepared joint launch events that turned footwear drops into community festivals. Each release distributed proceeds to local basketball programs, cementing the ethos of shared success. As the WNBA rolled on, television ratings reflected the heightened interest. Fans tuned in not just for the games, but to see how the dynamic between Caitlin and Sophie would manifest on the court. Would Sophie's production climb as she embraced her new role? Could Caitlin continue her scoring barrage while managing corporate commitments? The unfolding live drama matched any scripted sports series. The cultural reverberations even reached outside the bubble of women's basketball. Professional athletes in other sports referenced the move in press conferences. Soccer stars hinted at similar co-branding deals. College coaches discussed loyalty clauses in NIL agreements. The message was clear. Teamwork and solidarity were now tools in the negotiating arsenal. Yet for all the fanfare, Caitlin kept her feet on the ground. In candid moments, she emphasized that the real victory wasn't the numbers in her bank account or the headlines covering the surprise. It was seeing Sophie smile when she first held the custom sneakers. It was the sense that she could trust her teammates to have her back, just as she had theirs. Those intimate reminders kept her anchored amid the chaos. Similarly, Sophie navigated her new role with humility. She declined certain high-profile opportunities that felt misaligned with the spirit of the original surprise. Instead, she focused on programs that uplifted underdogs, just as she had been uplifted. She visited underserved communities, handed out shoes, and shared Caitlin's story as inspiration. Her actions reinforced that the deal's true currency was human connection. Game broadcasts began highlighting moments of unselfish play more than ever. Commentators paused mid-game to note when a player had rejected a shot to find an open teammate. They linked those moments back to Caitlin's stunt, arguing that her gesture had redefined winning. Social media challenges urged fans to share stories of people who lifted them up, a viral wave of gratitude that transcended sports. So, what will the next chapter hold? Will other stars follow Caitlin's playbook? Will teams across leagues embrace shared endorsements? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear, the WNBA and sports at large will never look at contracts the same way again. We've learned that the richest deals are those written with empathy and uplifting intent.
They don't feel like they have been promoting Caitlin as much as they should, but I will say we have to give credit where credit is due. I feel like in the past month or so, they had been tweeting about Caitlin more, and then obviously with this shoe release, they made this super sick commercial to promote it. And of course, just today, Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute, and I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner like.
If you found this deep dive into Caitlin Clark's landmark move inspiring, drop a comment and share your take on how athletes can pay it forward. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to stay in the loop, and ring that bell so you never miss a story that challenges the status quo.